Hey, what is up guys? Guitar Rock here. Welcome back to another Blue Archive video. Let's talk about PvP a little bit because I think this is something that I get asked a lot. Whenever a new season starts, right now we got a new season. Every time you climb a rank, you are going to be able to get 80 pyroxenes. Now most players are not going to, especially if you're free to play, you're not even going to consider refreshing to do extra tries, right? And this is what I want to talk a little bit about, especially during a start of PvP season. You can use this knowledge in the future as well. It doesn't have to apply just right now during the season of PvP, right? But every time you win a battle and you climb ranks, you are going to get extra pyroxenes, and that's going to be the objective right here. So day one is going to be the best time for you to actually apply this, especially right now. You can see I'm going to try to go in and fight in this battle. Now obviously every season of PvP there's going to be some new meta students that's going to be stronger than the others, right, or the previous one, right, depending. Some will get terrain advantage, etc. So you can see every time I climb rank, I was previously 11,000, now I gone up to 8,000, I get 60 pyroxenes right there. So this is going to be very useful. By the way, if you guys are not aware how the PvP in Blue Archive works, you are going to be put in this particular bracket against other players of limited amount of people, even within that particular server. So let's say you are playing in NA server, alright? So there are going to be multiple brackets in there, and you are only going to encounter certain few people in that particular bracket. Alright, so refreshing is also quite good for this. You can see I'm trying to get a better one. I get a 5.8, that is pretty good. Alright, so going for a 5.8 is better than 6.4. So this is going to give me again, now you can see I only get 1000 gold for now. But this is the one that I want, the 80 pyroxenes, because of the climb of the rank. So refreshing is going to be very important. Refresh in Blue Archive is going to be free. It's this button right here, right? So 4100 is the best one that I can get. Hopefully see if I can push that up a little bit, right? So the whole idea here is to get as much pyroxenes as you can within the first day. Alright, within the one day. Those pyroxenes that I just obtained, literally I could use those to reinvest to try to get even more and push more ranks. I think 4100 is the best that I can get. Let's see if I can get a better one. There's this timer for the PvP. You get 1 minute of like cooldown before you can fight the next players. I wish they would remove that, right? But I understand that they don't want you to abuse the system. So basically you are able to push to a high rank if there's no restriction in that particular one. So I'm going to push a little bit. Boom, and as you can see right there, so I get another 60 right there. So now I'm going to look for the best one, 3-1. Let's see if I can get 2-9 or something, right? 2-9 rank would be quite nice. Okay, this one is going to be really good. Now speaking of characters, speaking of students, and a lot of players are going to always constantly ask this question, right? Who are going to be the best one to use in PvP? So right now, as you can see, my roster is pretty much consistently is going to be this one, right? So first things first, Shun. Alright, if you guys are not aware yet, Shun is going to be very good due to this particular skill. Alright, this is going to give you 3.8 skill cost at the beginning of the battle. Unlike cost regen, which needs time to basically benefit from, in PvP there's no time, alright? You want to be able to burst immediately when you go in. So which is why Shun is going to be very good just for this particular skill, right? The rest of the things is okay, but she does have massive far range as well to be able to shoot enemies from behind the back. And let me see if I can show you guys in this particular battle. I am using 2 tank strat. I personally prefer the 2 tank strat because it gives you the flexibility in terms of if you have 1 tank die, you still have 1 more defender to be in front. Now in this case, Yuka and Tsubaki is going to be one of the best one. Pretty much standardized, but of course there are some few notable mentions as well. For example, something like Marina can be good as well to be able to push the enemies. But Tsubaki's taunt usually is very useful, as you guys are watching there. So PvP is going to be auto in this game. You're not able to choose who to attack, which skills to use, which is why preferably your roster should consist of very low cost units. Alright, so units that can use their EX skill within 2 to 3 costs preferably, right? If you start bringing in 6 costs, 5 cost characters in battle, you are most likely going to lose, right? Because there's just no reason for you to do that. with certain exception, maybe like Mika is going to be one of the few exceptions because she's going to be really strong, right? Just being a tank as well. So now you can see 2000. I'm going to try to see if I can push a little bit higher. So right now in rank 2000, so rank 2000 is going to be this right, 2049. I want to see if I can get 1009. I will keep refreshing. So this is 2322. So 2000 it seems to be the best one that I can get. So something like this. This one I can easily beat because you can see it's still 3-star. I believe these are still bots. So you can see they put a lot of bots in your every bracket just so that you only like, I would say only like 1000 of it are the real players. So you should be able to beat all of these bots easily, right? So now look at this, right? This is where it gets very interesting. So I'm going to get the daily reward right here. This is going to give me 14 pyroxenes. It's like whatever, right? Oops. I think I made a mistake. I should have claimed that later because I'm going to continue to push my rank. So ideally, it's better... It's better for you to wait a little bit. Push your rank high first. Because the higher your rank, the more pyroxenes you're going to get. I was here right there. Since I'm going to push even more, but it's just like a muscle memory thing. I'm so used to claiming it every single day. After I do 5 battles, I will claim it, right? Because ideally what you want to do every single day in your daily, you want to do 5 battles first before you claim this. Because you would have pushed up in higher ranks after 5 battles, right? That means you are going to get more in return. As per shown right here, right? So let's say you are in rank 4000 to 8000. You do 5 battles, you're able to push a little bit higher to this rank, right? 500 to 1000. You're gonna get 18 as opposed to 12. So you're getting more pyroxenes in return. Ideally, always do that, right? Always do 5 battles first before you click this particular claim button to get more pyroxenes in return. I hope you guys are aware of that. Except for today, because I want to be able to push even more, I am going to use a little bit of extra to refresh. As you can see, you can basically use 60 pyroxenes to buy 5 tickets. Now, is this worth it? Ideally, in most circumstances, in most normal day, no. But because today is the first day, it is going to be easy for you to push. And you are going to get that in return. So let me see if I can show it to you guys, right? I want to see if I can find a good one. So this one, right? So I spent 60 pyroxenes right there. And I get 5 more tries to be able to play in PvP. So this is going to give me 180. So I'm already getting more than I spent in that particular investment, right? So we are trying to reinvest the pyroxenes to get more pyroxenes. That's the whole objective. It's only worth it if you are strong, I guess, or if you are confident that you are able to push into higher ranks. It's not worth it if you can't. So Mutsuki at 1400, these are still bots, alright? So the names, you can tell if it's a Blue Archive character names, these are all bots, right? So again, pretty easy win, and you can see I get back more than enough. I still have 3 more. Now let's see if I can find better ones. Now let's talk about these special students a little bit, right? So I'm just going to queue in for this particular one. This is the best one that I can find. Swimsuit Shiroko currently is still number 1. Alright, similar to Shun, you ideally want Swimsuit Shiroko on your special type roster just because of this particular skill. Now what this skill does is, it is going to reduce all your EX skill by 1 point when you enter into the battle 1 time. So basically, if you have a character that's 4 costs, that character is going to be 3 costs. That means you are able to basically use these skills more often. Alright, she also have the cost recovery, but that's not important. This is much more important if the battle lasts very, very long. But in ideally, if you're trying to burst down any situation, right? A boss, PvE, PvP, PvP is just very, very strong because it's all about bursting down the opponent first before they can kill you, right? Basically, that's pretty much what it is. So she is going to be the best candidate by far. Right now, you can see this is going to give you a lot of stuff, plus she has a terrain advantage. Now Iroha is also going to be pretty consistent throughout, right? So one notable character that I see a lot, depending on the season, I don't recommend using any of the Kisaki, New Year Fuuka. Those are not going to be that good. But something like Nagisa is going to be decent as well because she's 3 costs. Something like Hibiki, she is going to be 4 costs. Very, very useful. Nadoka Hot Spring used to be meta for heals, but if you bring 2 tank, alright, if you have a 2 tank strat, she is not going to be that prevalent, right? So I guess she can still be used if you want to. But generally, those are the common ones that you will see a lot. Either Iroha, Nagisa, Hibiki, Hot Spring Nadoka occasionally, and sometimes You might even see Utaha, right? I've seen a few players use her as well. Now there's a lot of bots right now because the PvP season just reset and a lot of players haven't logged in yet to their PvP to be assigned to these brackets, right? So I'm fighting a lot of bots right here, so which is fine. So let's talk about alternatives for the DPS then. Shun is, I would say, pretty much core. Hanako, I'm a big fan of her because as you can see, she has a terrain advantage, number one. Number two, she's a 2-cost character, right? So that means she can spam. Now, if you don't have Swimsuit Hanako, a decent option would be Yori. I'm not making this guide for the current season specifically, but this guide is more for universally what you should do every time a PvP bracket reset, right? So hopefully you guys are aware of that. Momoi is going to be not bad, alright? She's a 3-cost, pretty budget for a lot of players to be able to obtain as well. Now granted, you want to have a decent high rank for her. But ideally, anything with terrain advantage, you can take advantage of. Mutsuki, I guess, is not too bad. Hoshino is apparently very strong in this season as well. As you can see, she is going to have that particular advantage. But something within the realms of 3-cost, 2-4-cost, Shiroko Terror is also one more that I would say consistently she's going to be very strong. But it depends on what kind of strategy you're trying to go for. Ideally, she's more of like for prolonged battles because she can have the ability to not die based upon her sub skill right here, right? Basically, if she was about to die, she basically get 15 seconds of like immortality on invulnerability until she's able to get healed or being eliminated immediately. So that's pretty much what it is. So look at this. So as you climb the ranks higher and higher, it's going to be even more worth it. Alright, so once you are in the top 500 rank, refreshing makes even more sense. Okay, so I found one more 585. Oh, 561. This is pretty good, man. Okay, so now I'm pushing myself to 560 something, right? So if you guys are not aware how it works as well, you basically, when you fight somebody in that particular rank, if you beat them, you exchange rank with them, right? You basically climb to their rank. If that person is at rank 400, you attack a rank 400 person and you won, now you'll be rank 400. You can see this is a lot of pyroxenes, easily. 225. Now I can continue if I want to, right? So right now, I basically get 200 pyroxenes per push. Now if I were to do this and I buy 60, I will get 5 more tries. Now is that worth it? Absolutely. Alright, you should do this multiple times until you think you cannot climb anymore. That's pretty much what it is. So I want to see if I can get a 420. Okay, look at this. How much is this? Okay, 216. We're still getting a pretty good one, right? Okay, one more right here. Boom, now I'm at 200. Ooh, that's a lot of gems. Now as you can see, one thing to consider, once you have pushed up far enough in the rank, you are at rank 297. To be able to push to the next rank is going to be about less than 100 rank away, right? So it's not as big as when you are in like a rank 10k or something, you're able to get up to 2k ranks. So this one you're basically able to only push about 100 rank, but still that is going to be more than enough. You can see I'm still getting 180. I'm still making more than I paid for. I paid 60 pyroxenes for 5 tickets. I'm still getting way more, right? Okay, so again should be another win. Boom. Okay. So now this is 122, so I'm getting a little bit less, right? So I'm almost approaching top 100, and you can still see these are still bots, right? Maki, Kotama, these are definitely still bots that I'm fighting against. I've yet to encounter real player. The challenging one is, so when do you stop, right? When do you stop refreshing? Easy. Once you encounter real players, you should consider stopping right there, because at that point there's a high chance for you to lose, because right now you can see if you're fighting bots, you are fighting 3 stars. Alright, so this is going to be still an easy win, at least for me, right? Again, if you guys are new, this strat might not be super viable. You can still give it a shot, right? I do think that you are still going to ideally make more than lose that 60 pyroxenes, right? Because like ideally you just need to be able to push up one time to be able to get like 200 pyroxenes in return. So you are going to be able to make more easily. So I'm going to go right here into rank 100 and boom. Okay, I'm able to push the rank. So right now I'm getting 88. So right now you can see I am in top 100 right now. Now is it still worth it for me? Like I mentioned, I'm going to apply my own advice. I'm still seeing bots. So what do? Yes, we're going to continue. Spend 60. We are still going to earn more, alright? Just by winning one battle. If I win this battle, I'm going to get more than 60 already, right? So it's still a net positive, alright? It's not a net negative, it's still a net positive. But yeah, let me know if you guys think this is like common knowledge and stuff, or are you guys aware of this at all, right? Because as of me making this video right now, I'm like contradicting myself. Like, I feel like this is something that most players do know, right? But again, you know, if you guys are not aware of this, maybe I can try to update some of my older guys as well, because there are always new players coming in. So you know, like I'm a veteran player, this is something that's like obvious to me, right? The season reset, you gotta do this just to get more pyroxenes. But you know, to some of you guys who are newer, you might not be aware of this as well. So with that, just let me know in the comment section below, alright? Feel free to do that, so that I get a little bit of a gauge, right? One more thing is also, let's give you guys a free-to-play example, right? Free-to-play team. If you are roughly new, I always encourage you guys to build Yuuka and Tsubaki. These two tanks I always encourage. They are very, very good in PvE as well. Now, Shun and Swimsuit Hanako, if you don't have them, what are the alternatives? What are the options? Ideally, something like Momoi can be used as well. Momoi and Yori, very, very good combination right there. So you have these two particular ones, so it is going to be a decent option for a lot of players. Now, if you don't have one of these, right, preferably Momoi, I think is quite easily accessible. You can consider Mutsuki or Aru. Alright, those are going to be the few notable ones that a lot of new players have access to, right? I'm not trying to mention like some of the extra hard to obtain characters, but these are something that's in standard banner, and hopefully, you know, not limited as well. You're able to obtain them easily. Now, one more thing is Iroha as well. She is going to be very, very good, but if you don't have her, Serena can be used in her place. Alright, since Shiroko is still going to be ideally very, very good, but Serena is also going to be able to carry you. So something like this is going to lean towards a much more free-to-play budget team, right? So if you have difficulty, consider these as options, right? I personally prefer Iroha. Iroha is strong if the AI summons her, right? The problem is, again, PvP is completely random. So sometimes she don't get summoned at all in the battle. So it will cycle through every other character skill. I would say that Iroha is pretty much... Oh, look at that. Just when I say that, the AI don't usually summon her. So now you can see she is being summoned, and we have Shiroko Terror. Oh shoot, but my tank is all down. Okay, so unfortunately that can happen sometimes. Okay, so we got bursted right there. So that is going to be how it is. Shiroko Terror from the enemy, usually that's a very, very strong candidate as well. So if you guys have Shiroko Terror, can also consider that, but she's limited, so I'm not sure if a lot of players are going to have her as well. Okay, now you can see I'm encountering a bunch of new players. Alright, we got a player that uses Kisaki, Serena. Keep in mind, if you want to use Yuuka, make sure, alright, so a lot of people are not aware of this, that you have her invested in her unique equipment. Alright, what makes Yuuka really strong in PvP? You need this particular one, right? So this particular one. Alright, you are able to increase your evasion and do that with a basic skill. So that's going to make her shine a lot there as well. So I'm going to try to go in with this. Okay, I'm able to do that. So that gives me 45. So now you can see I'm getting less and less. But still, decent chunk of that. Now you can see Shiroko Terror. Alright, so I'm going to try to refresh. So we got some Shun right here, Akko. Okay, so I'm going to try to fight this guy. He does have 3-star Shiroko Terror, 4-star and stuff. Now keep in mind, in PvP, even though somebody is lower stars than you, they still have a chance to beat you. Alright, because of how random it is. Now I think a lot of people are very afraid of PvP because, okay, if I fight a whale, I'm going to lose for sure. In Blue Archive, that's not the case. I've actually lost to players who are weaker than me in terms of the rarity of the characters because of the randomness, right? You don't get to choose the skills as a whole. You can see Swimsuit Hanako went a little bit too front right there. But yeah, I was able to win with my Shun. Shun stays at the back. Maybe the position of the characters need to be switched a bit. I feel like Swimsuit Hanako is going a little bit too front. Maybe I need to, after watching that, I might need to readjust the position or swap around the characters. Okay, so last one, I'm going to try and fight against this team. I see an Ayane right there alongside with the Shun. Again, there's a chance that I can lose as well. So I want to like observe the battle and show you guys a little bit and see if we can observe anything unusual, right? So again, the meta of PvP ideally is pretty fixed. So if you are going to invest in that few characters, look at that, his swimsuit Hanako literally sprayed all the way first. I might lose this one. So he got Hoshino going on right there. Okay, very interesting. I think oh, so he was able to he has a better position on, I think no, we have equally good position on swimsuit Hanako. I think because he was able to spam more first. But yeah, that's going to be a pretty good one. Alright, regardless, that is pretty much what it is for PvP, right? I just want to make this video during the reset to basically show you guys how you guys can take advantage of this, especially in the first couple of days. Now, at the beginning of this video, I have this amount of pyroxenes. Right now, I got 24,279. So that is a pretty good investment in just, reinvesting a little bit in the pyroxenes to buy a little bit of refresh tickets just to get those things up. Make sure you guys take this to your advantage, right? Even if you don't want to do it right now, this is like a knowledge for some of you guys new players who in the future you're gonna play Blue Archive in the long term, in the long run, you are going to be able to apply this in the next PvP season as well. Alright, so with that being said, that's it. Subscribe, give this video a like. I'll see you guys very soon. Take care, have a nice day, goodbye.